Have you ever noticed a bad odor along the James River in Richmond, especially after it rains? Problem solver Melissa Hippolyte discovered billions of gallons of raw sewage and stormwater runoff flows into the James when it rains.
And she learned the state actually allows it. Tonight she asks why and what it'll take to fix the problem.
In the shadow of I-95, where Richmonders fish, and just steps away from where kayakers pull out of the James, you'll sometimes see brown, murky water pouring into the river when it rains.
You can see that brown.
Yeah, really gross. So that was on Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
A mix of raw sewage combined with stormwater runoff. About 5 years ago, researchers snapped these pictures that show condoms, sanitary pads, and raw sewage found in the bellies of catfish caught in the Richmond part of the river. Catfish from the James and other Virginia rivers are harvested and sold in local grocery stores.
It's disgusting.
Richmond has 25 spots like this, where untreated feces and stormwater flows into the James when heavy rain overwhelms the sewer system. Just in the past couple of weeks, we have seen it happen twice.
Oh, that's pretty disgusting, is what that is.
Michael Fortune works with Boy Scouts every summer on the river.
We noticed splotches, about quarter-sized splotches on the river, and when paddling through it, you could smell the sewage smell to it.
These numbers show just how much untreated wastewater went into the James in the city in the past 5 years. More than 3 billion gallons in 2018 alone.
We're not a third world country. To me, that was unconscionable.
State Senator Richard Stewart doesn't represent Richmond in the GA, but he was raised in the Northern Neck.
Growing up in that area, you have a special appreciation for our natural resources.
He's on a mission to make the 3 cities that still send raw sewage into rivers to clean up their acts.
Ultimately, I just want it fixed because we've got to stop dumping that stuff in the river. It's just that simple.
In 2017, the General Assembly passed legislation forcing Alexandria to fix the problem by 2025. And Lynchburg is in the final phase of sewer system upgrades that should dramatically reduce their waste contribution. But Richmond, which releases the most untreated water,
they currently are on no track to fix it. They could continue doing this for 100 years.
You see, the city's sewers date back to Civil War days. The outdated system carries stormwater and sewage in the same pipes to the treatment plant. That nasty mix ends up in the James when the system becomes overwhelmed by heavy rain. And the Virginia Department of Environmental Quality allows it under something called a consent order.
They actually are legally violating the law, if that makes any sense.
How is that possible? The city checks in regularly with DEQ about what improvements they're making to the system to reduce the releases. And DEQ allows them to continue operating their wastewater treatment facilities while they address overflows.
When you go to sleep at night and it's raining, do you think about the fact that it's possible raw sewage is going into our river here?
Yes, all the time.
Kelvin Farr heads up Richmond's public utilities.
It definitely keeps me up.
He says their sewage problem would cost $400 million to fix.
$400 million. Does the city have that kind of money to spend?
Well, no. So what happens is it does impact rates.
Farr says the city has already spent over $315 million since the late 80s to reduce the waste going into the James.
Is the river safe for residents?
Yes. So the water quality is safe. We're in compliance with our state partner, DEQ.
Farr says their efforts have had an impact and points to data from the James River Association that shows bacteria pass rates at 7 different testing points along the James River as it flows through Richmond have improved. But Stewart says it's long past time for Richmond to come up with a permanent solution.
It is so, in my opinion, so unconscionable that the state needs to step in to make sure that this is fixed and fixed on an aggressive timeline.
What would be a reasonable timeline to try to get this done? Because as it stands right now, you're under this consent order from the DEQ that there's no end in sight here. There's no ending timeline, you know, that you must have this all completed by this year.
Yeah, so you can't tie me to a time because I know what it takes to get it done.
To that point, Kelvin Farr says it can take years to get permits and design approval, and there might be weather delays, further complicating a fix, finding a way to pay for it. Working for you, I'm Melissa Hippolyte for CBS 6.
Everybody wants a healthy James, though. A local high school football coach has been fired without any explanation, leaving parents and students irate.
The most genuine guys you will ever have in the coaching position.
Not only was the coach fired, but the school's football program now suspended. And tonight, school leaders heard from a community demanding answers.
And an elderly woman is dead after her Petersburg home went up in flames just days after she buried her husband.
Plus, religious leaders protest legislation designed to protect LGBTQ people from discrimination, why they claim it violates their right to religious freedom.
Hello, it's me, Rob, Reba, Kristen, and Nikki D.
Wake up, it's time to go. Wake up and hear the flow. Welcome in here. Welcome. Sunshine.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Get monumental savings all month long during Sheehy Ford's President's Day sales event. It's easy to find our lowest price up front with Easy Price.
It's easy at Sheehy. Sheehy.com.
We'll get some ice cream.
All right, we gotta stop here first.
From smarter ATMs to after-hours video tellers, Comcast Business is connecting thousands of banks to technology that turns everyday transactions into extraordinary experiences.
Hi there. How are you? Do you have any lollipops in there?
No, sorry.
We're helping all kinds of businesses go beyond customer expectations. How can we help you?
Time's running out. Get to Nissan now for big President's Day savings on our entire lineup, like the award-winning Nissan Rogue and Altima. It's car buying season. Hurry to Nissan, official partner of the NCAA. Save $2,500 on the 2020 Nissan Rogue, or save up to $2,000 on the 2020 Nissan Altima. Get to Nissan now.
The best trained, hardest working, and most prepared. That's who you want when it matters most. Because some things are just too important to leave to chance. Like an excellent surgeon, the personal injury lawyers at Allen & Allen have earned their reputation based on a history of service and success. If you've been seriously injured due to someone else's negligence, call us, because results matter.
Get monumental savings all month long during Sheehy Ford's President's Day sales event. Get up to 125% of KBB value with Easy Trade.
It's easy at Sheehy. Sheehy.com.
CBS 6 Sky Tracker, sponsored by JES Foundation Repair.
A local high school has temporarily suspended its football program after the head coach was let go without any explanation.
And tonight, some fired up parents took their concerns to school leaders. Our Matthew Fultz was there.
He was a role model, one of the most genuine guys you will ever have in the coaching position.
The King William community coming together in solidarity for former high school football coach Dylan Dehart.
We just want to be as persuasive as possible to try to get him back.
We can play these tough games now.
Dehart coached at King William High School for 7 years. He was fired last week and the public was given no explanation for his termination. Howard Hill worked alongside Dehart.
2 years as an assistant, we worked together. 7 years, he was a head coach over me.
Hill joined others at the school board meeting Tuesday to speak up on behalf of Coach Dehart.
In that time frame, I've never seen anything that would depict him or cause him to be terminated of his job.
D was there to help me figure it out. And for that, I'm a better man. I worked a 56.5-hour work week yesterday. D taught me how to do that.
The school board responded with a statement.
That this is a personnel matter and we cannot comment. However, as with any personnel matter, employees are extended an opportunity to meet with the superintendent. I applaud you all for standing up for what you believe in, and I want to reassure you that the football program will continue.
In the meantime, many in this community are hoping they get answers and Dehart gets his job back soon.
If Dylan Dehart is not good enough to coach at King William High School as its head football coach, Howard Hill's not good enough to be your assistant football coach.
Now again, the school board said they could not comment on the issue tonight since it is a personnel matter. They do say that Dehart still retains his job at the school as a teacher. They also say that they're taking tonight's comments into consideration as they move forward. Working for you tonight in King William County, I'm Matthew Volts, CBS 6 News.